This one's wife. Well, that was awkward. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This one's wife's appearance at Paris Fashion Week has provided a wealth of material for analysis in demonstrating her narcissism in action. But what about this encounter? As reported by Emily Cooper for Daily Mail, this one's wife shared an awkward kiss with Italian fashion designer Pier Paolo Piccioli as she made a surprise appearance at Paris Fashion Week. The Duchess narrowly avoided pecking the designer, who is the newly appointed creative director of Balenciaga, and butted heads with him as they leaned in for an embrace. This one's wife had gone in for a kiss on the cheek to congratulate Piccioli on his Spring-Summer 2026 women's wear design, but instead appeared to hit her nose on his sunglasses. He's really cool, you see. He wears sunglasses indoors. Aware that the cameras were on them, Piccioli laughed it off and grabbed this one's wife's hand before pulling her in for a photo. The Duchess then thanked the designer before finishing off the encounter with a brief hug. A spokesman for this one's wife said she has long admired Piccioli's craftsmanship and modern elegance. The mother of two appeared in her element as she was spotted embracing Vogue's global editorial director Anna Wintour and getting a kiss from Australia film director Baz Luhrmann. See parts pass him in that regard. Accordingly, the Mail reports on an awkward encounter. But let's have a look and see what happened. And what does it tell us? Here's the footage.
Would you mind again?
Okay, there's the awkward exchange. What are we witnessing? Well, as you know, this one's wife is a narcissist. And that means that when she's dealing with another human being, her narcissism is directing her vis-a-vis the prime aims, meaning she has to, at the very least, assert control over this appliance, likely draw fuel from it, possibly go for character traits and residual benefits. As is her stock move when she's physically with people, she utilizes the direct assertion of control. She places her hand upon his arm and goes in to give him a kiss. So far, so successful. He brings his hands up to place slightly around her, and then this is where she makes the error. Rather than allowing him to kiss her on the cheek, because he moves forward to anticipate doing so, she moves too soon to try and kiss him on his other cheek, resulting in the clash of her nose with his sunglasses. So the error is actually hers. She kisses him. She should allow him to then kiss her on the cheek, but she moves too soon. His head is still forward, so she then bumps into his sunglasses. She then tries to go back to the other cheek as he moves across, resulting in them both basically facing in the same direction at once. So she makes a second error, frustrating his air kiss. She then gets out of the way, allowing them to kiss on the other cheek. He laughs about it, showing off some, my goodness me, some serious veneer action going on there. She continues to assert control with her hands upon him. She smiles and then turns and immediately, I've got to go into Zoolander mode. Right, smile vanishes because it's not genuine, it's performative, and she stands there ready to take the photographs. And immediately, no smiling this time. As I explained in yesterday's video, ordinarily the rictus grin will be making its appearance, but it's character trait acquisition time. She thinks she's a model and that she's looking fine, and therefore it's all about the pout, all about doing the Zoolander, all about the lack of smile. Now, what's occurring there in relation to the mistake that she makes? Some might say, well, it's because she's generally useless. Well, we know she is generally useless. Some might say, it's actually meeting someone for the first time. She doesn't really know him that well. Well, no. It's quite simply the fact that she got the kiss wrong. That's all there is to it. She messed up. And that might be demonstrative of the fact that she's not somebody that does it particularly regularly, because it's seen more as a European, particularly French, custom that takes place, and therefore she's not used to it, and once again demonstrates a degree of social awkwardness on her part. The fact is, what you're really witnessing is more in respect of her need to assert control over this designer through holding him, through placing her mouth upon him in an attempt to kiss, which she just gets wrong, which could happen to anybody. And it's soon corrected, and then she moves on into the next moment. The fact that he laughs and doesn't respond with disdain or criticism of her provides her with pure positive fuel. So in that next moment, after the ill-executed air kiss, he demonstrates that he's under control. Thus, it's not actually a problem for this one's wife. He smiles and laughs it off, which provides her with pure positive fuel. He's not mocking her, and it demonstrates that he's under control, so there isn't an issue for her. Remember, she doesn't experience embarrassment because her narcissism always tells her that whatever she does is right. And, of course, if an error occurs, it's always the fault of somebody else, not her. Thus, she can't be embarrassed for her own behaviour, even though much of the time anybody else would be embarrassed by it. So, what you're witnessing is the narcissist asserting control directly, and whilst other people would look upon this exchange and think, well, that was rather awkward, this one's wife doesn't think that it is. Because nothing she does is awkward. Everything that she does is brilliant. That's the default setting of her narcissism. She's not embarrassed by what happened, and furthermore, through the narcissistic perspective, you're able to understand that it isn't actually problematic for her, because he shows that he's under control. And then that moment is over, and they turn to have their photograph taken. There, this one's wife seeks to assert control over the waiting photographer or photographers with her Zoolander pose. The fact that she's having a photograph taken demonstrates that those individuals are under control. It's also providing her with fuel. Therefore, the whole exchange, whilst looked upon by anybody else, may well be regarded as something that was awkward, but not for this one's wife. She's not affected by such thoughts because her narcissism tells her that everything she does is perfect, brilliant, and well received. And if you think to the contrary, well, there's a problem with you, not with her. You're the issue, not with her. And even though it might be viewed as awkward, the recovery from it is such that the appliance, the designer, demonstrates that he's under control, and thus in the world of this one's wife, there is no actual awkwardness or a problem. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.